Hi, cities. How are you doing? Welcome tonight. I sim hope you all are doing great. So, I came across this on for tour, right? It's actually a tour where people are going out to debate Charlie Kirk. You all know how racist Charlie Kirk is, and especially when it comes to people that look like me, right? Charlie Kirk is always on another level because how is he supposed to sell his channel if he doesn't talk about black people? Now, there is this story that has been going around where they are trying to go and debate Charlie Kirk on his sayings, especially when it comes to people that look like me. And the organizer of the tour is anti-black. She is racist, right? And the face of that tour is, I will show you that you will see the picture so you understand what I am saying. So people are, I mean, like, there is a whole lot of stories going on about that tour because there are anti-black. Let me start, and anti-black women too, not just only that. And black people are not finding that talk funny. How do you go out to debate somebody and you want to talk about black people and all that, and you are the people that are going to do the tour are not diversified? So that is also where the problem is. And the fact that the white people that they are also going to use to talk about, to do the tour, are not even calling out the anti-blackness from the organizer. So what is going on? Let's get into this video.
The Unaf America tour with a dash of misogynoir is an interesting concept. These two creators have their face on the front page of this tour, so I would presume that they are leading the charge for this. I guess I wonder how they've not used their platform to call out their lead organizer for being anti-black, for gaslighting black women, for being absolutely inappropriate with them, for trying to silence an individual who tried to protect them. I am just confused. Listen to me. If you're under the sound of my voice, do not donate any money to that. Do not donate any money to this at all. Not until there's a public apology, not until that lead organizer is gone. Do not give them any money. Let them do it on their own. If you can't stand in solidarity with black women when they call out harmful behavior, then you should absolutely not be giving your money to it. I am so disturbed that people with platforms as large as theirs that claim to be anti-racist, to claim to protect people from anti-blackness, would just sit in the silence of the shadows of racism because it's convenient. Yeah, we got to do better. And if it wasn't clear to you, it was never a tour for us.
Okay, so I have to be honest, I really am confused about what the Unfuck America situation is. So I'm going to have some questions for TikTok. I'm going to also share some of my thoughts. And let's just kind of have a conversation about this, I guess. So apparently, let me know if this is wrong, there's a group of people who are following around Charlie Kirk at his presentations around the country, and they are attempting to combat his ideas. And that's why they're going to these campuses, which are seeing really huge turnouts for a lot of these conservative content creators and speakers. And, you know, maybe there's something productive to come out of that. I am not going to argue against that. I guess my initial thought about that is, I guess that's good for the students who are there, who are trying to decide whether or not they want to go down the Charlie Kirk route, who may need people to stand in opposition to them, perhaps. But, you know, this is going to be kind of a meta point that I'm going to make in this video. My estimation is that the people who are there eager to cheer on Charlie Kirk have a sort of foundational reason for being there that is not going to be very easily undone by just that kind of conversation, because I think this goes a bit deeper than I think a lot of people estimate. Bookmark that thought because we're going to come back to it. So to my understanding, with this whole unfuck America thing, the predominant people that were on the list of creators who were going to come up against him were white creators, some of whom have questionable histories. I am only vaguely familiar with the young white men who are, I guess, a huge part of this. From what I have seen, they're men who have done a really good job reaching, especially MAGA young men, right? So I actually see why they would be good on a sort of, thing like this. But then I guess the conversation started to happen around why there weren't any black people, especially black women, on this whole tour. And then that sort of ended up in a conversation with one of the organizers who was very dismissive towards a lot of the black women who were concerned about the lack of diversity. Am I getting this correct? Let me know if I'm getting this wrong. So, when it comes to this, I have a lot of feelings. I've got a lot of feelings. And I first want to start by saying that my personal feeling about this is I'm totally fine letting white people have these conversations amongst each other, amongst themselves, because I'm sick and tired of having it. I'm sick and tired of it. You guys should know by now that I've made content to this end for 20 years of my life, and I'm over it. I still sort of do that content, but it's not necessarily my main thing. It's definitely something I pull myself more and more out of every year. And I felt a lot better for it. But it's my estimation at the end of it all that it was never my personal responsibility to pull these white folks out of racism, right? And more often than not, if they are going to be pulled out of racism, they're going to listen to the white boys who are on this tour more than they're going to listen to people like me. And frankly, I think the thing that makes this sort of a complicated conversation is that on one hand, as black folks, what we want for white people to do is to speak up and to, speak out and to call out this shit when we're not going to be listened to. And then on the other hand, what that can sort of end up doing is putting this idea in some white creator's mind that their ideas, their way of thinking, their approach to the conversation is the best one. And they're the most equipped for the job, right? And I sort of think that that's what happened with the little bit of the live stream that I saw where one of the organizers was kind of insinuating that, she had just so much more experience than the other people in the room doing organizing shit. Because here's the thing, you guys, I think this is, and we keep coming back to this, and I know people aren't going to hear it. The problem people get is that a lot of times the way that some leftists interact with, some non-black leftists interact with black people around political organizing, it's almost always with this subtext of condescension. And this sort of looking down the nose at, and there's always this sort of idea that because this person comes to the conversation from a certain angle, sometimes a more academic angle, then somehow their organizing is more productive. Somehow their organizing is the best. Somehow their organizing is more centered. And what ends up happening is for people who do community organizing work, you kind of recognize the attitude in these people who they may try to do it, but they haven't really actually applied a lot of their theory, right? And they haven't really seen that sometimes those theories are just that, theories, and that sometimes you need to maybe shift the approach based on the reality of the world. And that's the kind of stuff that you get with a lot of black people who've done organizing work, who've sort of had to do that by virtue of their race, right? Like a lot of these people who are entering into these conversations, some of the most privileged people, right? These white people who are trying to have these conversations, right? These are people who are opting into these conversations. These are people who are ultimately not going to be nearly as impacted by basically everything that Trump is doing, right? So some of us have had to be activated because of our situation, whereas some people, because they want to do better, because they want to be politically engaged and stuff, then they choose to engage. And that's a very different entry point into politics, right? Into political discourse. And so sometimes the clash that happens is you have these people who've read a bunch of books, who approach these people who have like actually had to fucking do this shit, and they approach them with a degree of condescension that is very obviously tinged in racism, because there's really no reason for you to make that assumption other than you coming from just so much of a better perspective because of your whiteness, right? And a lot of people, I think, when they do this, a lot of these non black leftists, when they do this, a lot of times they're not doing it intentionally. Like they're not sitting around thinking like, oh, I'm just so much smarter and better than the black person next to me. It's something that they just believe and buy into, and they might not even catch how easily they give credit to other white people by virtue of their whiteness, right? There's a degree of scrutiny they'll have for black folks in their organizing work that they aren't going to have for a lot of white people in their organizing work, because even if these people would like to consider themselves to be so much more woke than their racist white counterparts, they're still dealing with whiteness. They're still dealing with white supremacy. So bringing back to this point that I was making about a big foundational thing, I think what a lot of people have not really properly estimated is just how racist and anti-black we are in this country. And I think the harsh reality here is racism is not going to be a turnoff for some white leftists, especially, who are trying to move this country in a more class conscious direction, right? Because at the end of the day, they're trying to win over people who they understand are fundamentally racist, and they themselves are also fundamentally racist, right? So it may seem to you from the outside like, oh, we should all be, standing up against anti-blackness. Why are we so indifferent to it? Why aren't people being turned off by it? But like in the reality, they're trying to go after people who have anti-blackness within them, which means they can't be too woke, right? And then they're also themselves still dealing with that. And the harsh reality is black folks are the minority. So for a lot of people, there are going to be people who are like, maybe they're a little problematic or whatever, but it's forgivable. And of course, they're never going to extend that degree of forgiveness for a black person who would be in these conversations at all, right? So yeah, I mean, I just think that in general.
So I've seen this happen in real life, and it's being played out on here. And any movement that is led in times like these, where white people are at the helm, there's definitely going to be fucking mistakes made. And some of the shit that I'm seeing pop up about this one tour, where this white woman that's leading the organization, tour, whatever, was engaging in misogynoir towards black women. Just some real basic racist shit as well. And this shit falls apart. Like I said, I've seen it happen here in Michigan. Whenever white people take over some sort of movement or organization that moves towards equity and justice, our whiteness gets in the way. And it comes out very quickly. And so the response now is bury it, right? Or we're not going to release a public statement, or you're dealing with it behind closed doors. No, that's not how shit works. But because white supremacy is our default as white people, a lot of white people in these organizations are setting up these tours or whatever. That's what they'll fall back to, is the default setting of white supremacy. Doesn't matter if you're a fucking white Democrat, liberal, socialist, communist, fucking leftist. This shit will come bite you in the ass quickly. And there are certain communities that are not white, and specifically in this scenario I'm talking about, the black community nailed this shit down immediately from the information I've been seeing float around. And they are saying, hey, this is what it is. This is what's happening. What is being done? And so I think there's a lot of anti-racism work that we as white people start getting invested into, and forget that like arrogance and ego become a very in only one right way, right? Like these certain tenets of white supremacy, they're still there. It doesn't matter how much we fucking decolonize, deconstruct, whatever it is, there's still going to be parts of us that need to have work done on them. That's just real shit. And especially right now, in America, where white supremacy is at the fucking forefront of everything due to Trump and his supporters in the administration, that shit is going to be very clear and evident to all communities outside of ours. So learning to take accountability, learning to step down in movements if you're a leader and you get caught up doing some stupid shit, learning to publicly apologize and own your shit in front of everyone, not expecting fucking kudos for standing up and saying I fucked up, not expecting forgiveness, understanding that we have the capacity to cause harm and damage regardless of our intent, because impact is always way more, the weight of impact is way heavier than our intention. Like, again, I've seen this shit happen in real life, and I'm watching it play out on here too. I mean, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you land on the left, if you're white, you're still gonna fucking make mistakes. I do, like anyone on here trying to talk about anti-racism, pro-humanity shit that's white, we're still gonna fuck up. We're gonna make mistakes. And when you put yourself in a position of leadership, in a movement where you're trying to fight for equity, equality, justice, inclusion, you will not escape making mistakes, period. You're going to. And so you have to choose to own it. And you have to be open about what the fuck you did and what's happening and how your actions might affect the communities you're trying to fight for. It's very simple.
So there is something called the Unfuck America tour that's going around doing the Charlie Kirk thing. And apparently the woman that is running it is a fucking racist, and these motherfuckers are asking for tons of fucking money to do basically what Charlie Kirk does. And I'm sorry, that doesn't work for me. I have a suggestion. I have a fucking suggestion. A lot of college campuses are paying for these guys to come in and do the Charlie Kirk thing, right? Right? Why not hire me? Hire me. It's real simple. I don't know. We y'all throwing out what, 30 bands? 30 bands to go to the University of Alabama, the University of Georgia, or wherever the fuck? I don't need 30 bands. I need about 5. I need 5 G's. I will show up at your college campus. I'll even bring merchandise. Sound of Coffee type shit. I will do live Sound of Coffees all over college campuses. I will. A fucking live show. I will. And I will make people laugh. I will make people think. And if you catch me on a Friday, oh my goodness, that's the best shows. I will do Flag on the Play Fridays at the University of Alabama. I'm doing Flag on the Play Friday here at Penn State. Woo! But do you know what you're going to get? Well, you know what you're not going to get? Jobbed out. For me, this was never about ego, man. $5,000 is $5,000. That's gas money. Make sure my truck's running right. I'll drive up there wherever. You know what I mean? But what you're also going to get out of me is this. I want the next generation, and that's those college kids, those kids on those campuses. I want them to feel empowered, not belittled, and not ridiculed. Are there a bunch of kids on college campuses that have Charlie Kirk's mentality? Of course they are. Of course they are. And guess what? There's a way to change them. They're in fucking college. Get them something, make them, I'm going to look something up. I'm going to look something up. It's fine. Go ahead. But you don't do it by charging exorbitant prices to have a bunch of content creators drive around in a bus that you're paying for to show up at your college campuses and do the exact same thing that Charlie Kirk does. Charlie Kirk does that shit because Charlie Kirk is one of the most immature, ignorant son of a bitches running around on the face of the earth today. It's a grift, kids. It's a grift. Name me the five achievements of Charlie Kirk. Don't worry, I'll wait. Don't worry, I'll wait. Give me the 5 achievements outside of being a right-wing dickhead that Charlie Kirk has ever fucking done. You got this man up here talking about abortion and gay rights and trans people. Who the fuck are you, bruv? Bruv, do you have a studies in women's reproduction? No. Hey, so you must be working in transitions and things of that nature. No. Then what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you even here, B? And that's Charlie Kirk's grift. You give him money, he shows up, a bunch of people debate him, and then he doesn't change, and the person that fucking is debating against him is pissed off because he's too stupid to understand something. Pay me $5,000. $5,000 per visit. That's it. I will do all of this shit here in front of you. I can do a damn live show, a live sound of coffee. Why the fuck not? You set it up, I'll do it. We can all have a laugh. It's 3 hours of your day. You ain't got nothing else to worry about. Cool. Why the fuck? In this unfuck America, they looked at that shit and said, yeah, we won't do that, but on the left. That shit don't work. Especially when you are charging these people all of this fucking money. You are charging people you're charging college campuses and students exorbitant amounts of money to come in and tell them some shit they already fucking know. These kids ain't stupid. Yes, there's right-wing kids. There's a Republican club on every fucking college campus. So what? So what? You want to debate? Fine. Find the best one that can talk. We can do a sound of coffee live. We'll take questions from the fucking audience. We'll have him answer. Then we'll have me answer. And it's $5,000. 5 G's. And that literally is just for me to drive. You trying to get rich off the shit? Just let's do it. But what it also speaks to is the left wing of American politics is fucked up. It is. It is being led by people that don't want to actually say the truth out loud. Our corporate overlords are fucking us over. Our corporate media has betrayed us. Social media is the last bastion of any sort of dialogue and knowledge being thrown out there. And they keep trying to find a way to corporatize that shit as well. That's why when you go on your FYP, there's more ads than there are videos. You don't charge people $30,000 to be told some shit they can see in 15 minutes or less just by scrolling their FYP on any social media application. But what you do is you spark interest. If you're going there and at the end of it, nobody is fucking changed, then you literally just got bans for nothing. I got money for nothing and the chicks or whatever. So just hire me. I'll show up. Whatever university. You want to talk? You want me to lecture? I'll lecture. I will lecture on something. I will come up with some slides or whatever. If you want a show where you get a chance to laugh and shit like that, cool. I'm there. But this unfuck America shit, it is proof positive that the left side of politics in America needs a fucking wake-up call. They need to be honest with themselves and the people that support them. And you don't be honest. You can't be honest with people if you're grifting them out of their money. Pay my damn travel fare and that's it. Hire me. Fuck out of here with that other shit.
I've been meaning to speak on the Unfuck America tour and the drama surrounding it. So first off, I think the tour is a great idea. I've told Z personally that what she's doing, what she's done was great. I love the idea of counteracting people like Charlie Kirk who target young, white, college citizens who are easily influenced at that age. And so it's good to have our own organization that could target these guys and put them on the right path. And despite the drama and everything that's going on behind scenes, I hope that continues. I do want to speak about Z though, because I did get a chance to go watch that TikTok live podcast where she was involved with multiple black women. And she made the statement that they came across aggressive. Now, you have to understand why that's a problem. People of color have been disenfranchised and mistreated because people of this color have called us aggressive. There's this stereotype that we're thugs, that we have no class, that we're uneducated, that we're loud, rowdy, ghetto, and all kinds of stuff. When you call us aggressive, that's what it paints us as. And listening to the podcast, I did not think any of them were being aggressive whatsoever. Were they passionate? Sure. But all of them said, like I'm saying, this is a great idea. We would just like to see some representation from the speakers. That's all they were saying. And to me, yeah, that is legit criticism. And how Z handled it was not the greatest. The best leaders, organizers, are able to take criticism. Not just because it's going to help you grow, but also it keeps you in check. I believe the best leaders not only want criticism, they already know what the criticism is going to be before it hits their lips, right? Because you know your products more than anyone else. It was bad enough that she called them aggressive, but then she goes on to say, there's a lot of people like this working in the background. They want people like this speaking up and representing them. And I'm not saying Dean is a bad speaker. I think Dean is excellent. Please keep having him speak, especially at white colleges. But in my head, I would like to see the Unfuck America tour hit up black colleges, all colleges, with different people of different cultures, different ethnicities, and all spectrums of the world, speaking up, saying the same thing, because that's the real America. And you need to have that image if you truly want to unfuck America. And I agree with those girls on the podcast, and I don't agree with how Z handled that. I don't want to see this fall apart. I would like to see it continue. I hope cooler heads prevail, and if some people need to be fired, it's unfortunate, but do what you gotta do. Don't let this go to waste. Keep it going. You have something great here. Don't lose it. That's all I want to say about it. Leave a like, comment, repost, and get this in front of as many people as possible. Stay hopeful, trust your gut, and always know you're not crazy.
You're the face of the Unfuck America tour, and then you're going to do the very thing that's fucking America right now and engage in and be racist? Seriously? How does that work? And then I am finding it so funny how the things that I've been saying here for the last week and I've been getting tore to shreds about, how racism and anti-blackness is not taken serious on this side of the political spectrum. Now, there are certain people that are supposed to be underneath the Unfuck America tour, and I'm not saying that they don't care about racism and anti-blackness, but I'm just saying that there were very strong opinions about what was going on with the Harry Sisson situation, and he was terrible in that situation. I don't know why he was doing that shit in the first place, but I've been seeing people call out the lead organizer for the Unfuck America tour now for about a day or two, and coincidentally, I'm not seeing this same push to action like, oh, we have to separate ourselves, this is not good, let me call out. Why? Like, why? I don't understand. Why are these things not taken more serious? It doesn't make any sense to me. But when I say these things, you guys want to get in my comments and my DMs and tear me to shreds. Just, we're observing the same thing.
Hi, my name is Sandy. It's 9:27 a.m. and these are my thought loops. Y'all know them group of white liberals that are like going to go debate Charlie Kirk and all that? I feel the way about that. Oh no. Why aren't there any black people there? Why aren't there any niggas in the section? Why? Especially when it comes to debating lived experience. I don't want to see a white little boy debate Charlie Kirk. I want to see one of me. In fact, I want to debate Charlie Kirk as a, regular civilian. But I feel like the amplification of white voices, even in leftist spaces, can tend to be very harmful. And honestly, one of the members who were on the Unfuck America tour did say that the person who was in charge of it was mad racist and they're not standing by anything that this person is doing. But yeah, I've been had a bad feeling about that Unfuck America tour because we don't need people to speak for us. We need a middle ground to speak on. Amen?
So I am outside walking my dog, and I just had a couple of thoughts on some of the Unf America stuff and things that's been going on lately. I'm a little nobody in Nebraska. I'm not a content creator. I don't have a platform like that, but I do have a voice, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to speak my truth and my feelings on what's been going on. So last night, actually it goes back a couple of days before this, I follow a lot of the big creators. I watched them live while they were out there. There's some things I agree with, some things I don't agree with. I think last night, well, first let me go all the way back to Alina. Alina, she called out the fact that there wasn't much diversity going on a couple of weeks before the Unf America tour began. And I think kudos to her because I guess her spidey sense was tingling, or she knew something about that lady who was kind of spearheading it. Who knows? I don't agree with racism. I'm just going to say that right there. I don't like a racist, but I also don't think that all white people are bad, excuse me. Do they have maybe some inherent racism? Absolutely. Do they have things that they can improve upon? Always. Do we all have things that we can improve upon? Again, always. I think no matter where you lie on the spectrum of things, there's something we can always do better. I'll preface it also to say that I am a Christian and I'm registered as a Democrat, but I would definitely say I'm more progressive, and some of the stuff that the Democrats do, I also think is just kind of status quo anymore. And we need change, but change is not going to happen overnight, the same way that this stuff didn't happen overnight. These things have been going on for years. So it's going to be slow. Unfortunately, we're stuck in a two-party system. We have the Democrats, and now what was the Republicans are now the MAGA Republicans, and they're horrible. So what I want to say is that I really think we need to have a more cohesive voice. Whether you're an independent, a Democrat, a Republican, third party. Third party, unfortunately, doesn't have a place in politics at this time. It's just not enough support behind that party. So, unfortunately, the two-party system is what it is. But we need to have a more together voice. So last night, Alina did a live, and then Jones X did a live. And I watched it all the way to the end when he kind of tapped out and was like, I'm done. Tashika, she's amazing. I freaking love her. I really wish that her platform was much larger because she has an amazing voice. And she really, really
This is all I got from this video. And now let me brief you people what this of America, the name is just really weird because I don't understand how they expect somebody to say the name out, or probably I don't know. It's not marketable. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. If you are into research, business, and all that, you know that the name is kind of weird, right? American tour. So this is, we all know how Charlie Kirk has been going from school to school, deceiving innocent kids. And the kids, he ends up speaking to our kids, like people that are still trying to find their feet when it comes to history and the happenings all over the world. He takes money from them, try to teach them, or they try to debate him, and then he ends up teaching them nonsense. So I think a lot of people already have been like seeing all his videos, because you all know how racist. I don't have to even mince my words when it comes to where Charlie Kirk is. Charlie Kirk is a racist human being. I am not going to hide it, right? So he's been going from school to school, saying so many crazy things about people that look like me. That one has always been his, how do I say that? I think that is his marketing too, because if he doesn't talk about black people, black women, black men, he is not, his channel will not sell, or anything he has to talk about will not sell. So what does he do? He uses people that look like me to talk about them in a denigrating way, not in a good way. So now some people are trying to challenge him. So they decided to bring this tour, right? And who is in charge of the tour? White woman. So I remember there is a video that I watched about his name is Peyton. He's a white man, young boy, right? So he was calling them out on why they did not diversify the tour. Why is it that the people that, like, there were no black women? So how do you want to go and debate somebody when it comes to people that look like me, and that people are also not found, right? So that was where the problem started. So a white man also told them, why is it that black women are not also included and all that, and black men are not included on the tour? So the woman said, told the guy that why is he always defending black people? That the people that he is trying to defend do not care about him and will not care about him. So that is where the problem started. People were like, are you serious? So this is what you all are all about. So which they ended up apologizing, right? And after the apology, still people are not comfortable with it all. Now I am going to ask this. Why is it that whenever anything that got to do with black women, I don't know, but what did black women or black people in general do? Because telling me that like you do not have enough black people, and the face of the people that are also going to do the debate are also white. So how do you go and I don't understand it, but how do you want to talk about people that look like me, and you are using the faces of people that other people like white people? And also there are some, I am not saying they are not allies, but recently you can see that there are also so many white young boys talking about black history, black ordeal experiences, and all that. And some people think that they are using my own people to chase clout and make money off them, of marginalized group, right? So it's a whole lot of discourse, and I will be following up on this then to know how it ends, and I will always update you. But one thing I know for sure is that you cannot want to talk about me, and I am not included in what you are talking about. You want to talk about black people's experiences and all that, and black people, you do not have black people in that group or category to also talk about it. So what are you talking about? Diversity is some, I don't understand, but sometimes I feel like their intentions are not clear, or I don't know how to. Yeah, their intentions sometimes they probably want to do something for you, but their intentions are not good intentions. This is just how I see it. Bye for now.